Joseph, thank you so much for coming on the show and being the expert today. I appreciate you taking time out of all the projects that you're working on to chat with us.
Elle, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. I think maybe expert is a relative term, and maybe we're using it loosely, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, what I appreciate about you is I've known you for the last few years, Joseph, and you're someone who I see as highly organized. You're fantastic with goals. And this relates to a lot of people in the community. They've been asking me, I want to pay off debt faster, or I'm saving up for a house or starting a business, anything. But the problem is currently their income level just isn't sufficient enough. And they are looking for ways to grow their income streams. And you're one of those people that not only have different income streams, but you're really organized about it. And it seems pretty balanced. You're not advocating anything crazy. So I wanted to kind of start off with you, how you've built up your income stream. I know you have plenty of experience with like real estate. I know you're an author. You have your YouTube channels, freelancing. Did I miss anything?
There's a lot there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a full-time job, just keeping it all organized and running it like a business. But I think it is so important, what we'll talk about because you're right. You see so many so many podcasts, YouTube channels or whatnot, or blogs talking about saving money, budgeting, and what you can do on that side of your of the personal finances. But the truth is, the tragedy is that a lot of people just don't make enough money. They can save all they want, but their income just isn't covering their bills with enough left over to save and really get those things that they want to do after that. So what I like to tell people is budget, save, great, but look at the other side of the equation as well, and increase your income with some of these different ideas.
Yeah. And there's so many different income streams. I don't think many people are aware. They'll see online, like you can make money online if you have a blog or just investing, but there's nothing detailed. Like, what does that even mean? How would you do that? I'm kind of curious, how and why did you get started with building up these income streams?
Sure. Well, I got out of the Marine Corps in 2001 and then graduated college in 2003 and got a job in corporate finance because that's just what you did. You get that traditional 9 to 5 job and you work and maybe you don't like your job. I know I didn't, but you do it because that's just what you do, right? You save up your money and hopefully someday you can retire and hopefully then you'll be happy. But I realized that, okay, you know what? Why am I spending a third of my life unhappy, miserable, even just for the hope that someday I'll be able to retire and do the things I want to do and be happy and have that sense of financial freedom. So I started looking into work at home businesses and online businesses and things like that. And so I started freelancing. I'd worked as an equity analyst, investment analyst with venture capital firms and private wealth management. And I loved talking about it. So I started looking at ways to do that on my own through freelancing first, and then creating my own online assets. So in 2013, I started freelancing, slowly, gradually building up my own websites, my own blogs, that kind of thing. Started 4 blogs, all within that personal finance and investing and making money online, all within that idea. And just slowly grew it. I ended up going full time in 2014, working on those. And in 2017, actually kind of made the shift, that transition into YouTube, where now I've got a YouTube channel also called Let's Talk Money. And kind of a catch-all for all the things that I love talking about, that investing, beating debt, making more money, and really just making your money work for you. And I love it. I love the interaction that I get and the face-to-face feeling from YouTube. So it really was kind of an evolution, of starting with freelancing, building up my own online assets, my own business, until, now, last month I just had my best month yet, a little over 14,500. But it's consistently over, more than I ever thought was possible with with a lot of these business ideas that you tell people and they're like, really? You can make money doing that?
Yeah.
And I love the feeling of being able to control my financial future, really being able to grow the business and interact with people in my own way.
Yeah, good for you. And I think it's important because I know some people they'll say, "Oh my goodness, he's making like 14,000 a month. That's amazing." But like you said, you've put in the work. Like
Sure,
I've
sure.
seen you at the conferences. You're one of the most organized people. You have series plans. You are networking. You're really, and I use this in a positive sense. You really are hustling. It's not
It's a
like,
hustle.
yeah,
And
to
one
get
of the
that set
things
up.
we could talk about later is really
Mhm.
treating it like a business and
Yeah,
how to do that by devoting time consistently, learning the roles around the business, as well as, learning how to scale it, learning how to hire people and manage people to help you do what you need to do. But yeah, it wasn't 14,000 overnight, right? It,
yeah,
it took at least about 6 months
mhm,
before I was making any money on my online businesses. Now, of course, freelancing is something you can start making money immediately, and it's a
yeah,
great method. It's a great process to use while you're building up your other assets. But yeah, it was probably about a year before I was making maybe $2,000 a month on the business,
mhm,
and it's just grown from there. But what is really amazing
mhm,
about some of these online business ideas that we can talk about
mhm.
is that you're growing your monthly income by 20, 30. I mean, this year so far, this first 9 months out of the year, I've grown my income by 45% over the monthly income from last year. And that's a business that's been going for 5 years. That
Yeah,
those first couple of years, I doubled my monthly income. And what kind of job can you say that about your income growth? Most people kind of stuck in that, 3 to 5% pay raise each year if they're lucky, if they're doing a really great job. But starting some of these online businesses, controlling your own online assets and your own business, you really can get that kind of income growth every single year.
yeah. And I think a big part of it is kind of aligning an income stream that matches where you are now, like time wise, what you have and the skills you have. So I was wondering if we can kind of break this down into different scenarios that
Sure.
couples and families face and maybe identify potential ways that they can earn some extra income. So the first one I'm thinking people just come into the community. They're like, I am ready to get out of debt, but right now we are barely throwing anything in that debt snowball. We'd love to grow it, but time they're really restricted. Maybe they're not looking to start a business. They just need an income stream around a few hundred a month. um, what would you suggest for them that are limited on time, but they can devote like maybe a day a week on the weekends to do something?
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Well, there's really uh, two types of things you can do online, jobs you can do online, and one is really that kind of traditional sense of working for someone, doing jobs, freelancing, that kind of thing, where it's the immediate payout, and you will make money doing it, but you're always going to be trading your time for money, right?
Mhm.
And it's great for a lot of people. They can make money immediately. They start seeing that payback immediately, but they never really grow their own assets, and they never really grow that passive income stream that people need to really get out ahead. So what I usually recommend is yeah, finding something online that you can freelance. And this usually starts with whatever you're doing, or in as a 9 to 5 job, or just what you enjoy doing. You can freelance anything, right?
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if you enjoy doing something, whether it be writing or underwater basket weaving, you can freelance that and teach people how to do it. Uh, so start freelancing at first. You can look
Hmm.
on sites like Upwork or freelancer.com, or really the best way is just get involved in a community on Facebook, right? A
Hmm.
group around that idea, around that topic, and just engage and be a member of the community, be a valuable member of the community. And eventually you'll start seeing people posting things
Hmm.
like, hey, I need help with this, or I've got a freelancing job for someone. And you can start applying to jobs that way. And while you're doing this, and it is kind of a balancing act, right?
Hmm.
You want to balance that quick money from the freelancing jobs, from that idea, with maybe a couple of hours. And really, with a lot of these online businesses that we could talk about, it doesn't take more than 3 to 5 hours a week. So you can do maybe 3 to 5 hours a week on that freelancing job. You make $20 to $50, even $50 an hour doing that, while you're spending another 3 to 5 hours a week, maybe building this online business. And what I love the ideas that you're talking about is that I love the idea of couples working on this together, to make money. Each of you can freelance in a couple of different ideas. Each of you can take a specialized task within that online business that you're creating. And really, we're talking about, specializing in tasks that are going to be complementary in a business. So one partner might be, that social butterfly kind of person, and really like using social media. They might freelance by managing a blogger's social media profiles for a little while, but they're also going to be, helping with the social media profiles for your own businesses. The other one might be a little bit more analytical. So maybe they're doing the accounting, and maybe they're writing up posts, or doing some freelance writing and that kind of thing, while they're also writing for your own businesses. So lots of different ways you can kind of balance that immediate payback from freelancing while you're also building your own assets.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and great ideas there on taking the skills you have, start freelancing, and then kind of expanding intelligently. Sometimes you want to jump and do everything because you see there's a job opportunity here and here, but instead, like, just expand the circle based on what you have. I love that. Now, I do know we have some couples, they've made progress. They got some of that leverage in, and they're looking to start something on the side. They have more time that they can devote. Are there other areas and income streams they should consider that you think might be a little more time intensive with setting up, but would definitely pay off in the long run?
Okay, sure. Well, first, I would say probably your best bet would be focusing on online businesses, right? There's all kinds of side hustle ideas where it's basically just cutting lawn, mowing lawns, and doing that kind of offline work and tasks that you can make some money on. But again, you're trading your time for money, and it's kind of that lower scale. With online businesses, these are the most flexible with your time, so you can put that time in anytime you have a free moment, and they're lower cost too, right? It costs nothing almost to set up a blog or self-publishing or YouTube, that kind of thing. So I'd focus on online businesses. Some ideas here might be, things like, and a lot of these probably aren't going to be much of a surprise to people, but blogging, self-publishing, starting a YouTube channel, podcasting is another great idea. Being a social influencer, and a lot of these, what you can do, and really the secret here is using a lot of these together, right? Because so somebody that's maybe got a website like a blog or a YouTube channel, or both really, then you're already creating content. So what you can do is you can repurpose that content for a self-published book, right? So you think about, okay, over these next 12 weeks, I want to publish a book on underwater basket weaving, right? Some kind of transformation you want to bring in people's lives. You work backwards. What are the chapters? What are the major steps people need to accomplish that? And then each chapter, you're going to do one chapter a week, and each chapter is going to be a blog post, or each chapter is going to be a video on your YouTube channel. At the end of 12 weeks, you've got your book done. You just reformat it, put it together, and you're self-publishing. So what this is going to do is it's going to give you that immediate income from that self-published book, right? But it's also going to keep you on schedule, growing your blog or your YouTube channel or your online business. Works great with podcasting as well. Things like that where you're building up your distribution side. In business, there's always product or distribution, right? You can either reach a lot of people with that distribution. You've got a channel or a blog or some way or social media profiles to reach people, or you've got that product, right? Something that you can sell to people, and you either sell it through someone else's distribution, or you build that distribution platform up yourself. So great ways to use both of those together.
And I think you've done a fantastic job. I've seen you, explode through the years, and just thinking, like, between your experience and my experience, I think people do feel like, well, what can I bring to the table? And I would say start off, first of all, two areas. One, you're already getting paid with a job for some skill, and it could be different things. It could be accounting. It could be, operations management, computer programmer. Is there something you're doing in that job that's so well that you can teach someone else, like either better organization, better technique? That's something to start off with. And then the other one is look at your free time. Like, what are you doing that you enjoy so much that you're doing for free that maybe you can help someone out with that maybe not be as skilled right now, that you could kind of bring them up. So I love how you also said we're not the expert. No one's the expert, but
Sure.
do you have a perspective that could help someone take where they are now and go up a level or two with whatever area that they're looking into getting that help? So
Absolutely,
I love that.
absolutely, and I love that combination of if you are able to combine that expertise, something that
Mhm.
you do, for a living, you actually get paid for, with that passion. It's
Mhm.
a powerful combination. I would say that you really have to enjoy doing this, because a lot
Yeah.
of these ideas, this blogging, YouTube, podcasting, whatever, what have you, they're not going to be immediate payouts, right? It's a
Hmm.
business you have to build over time. So I would definitely defer to that passion at
Hmm.
first. If you're miserable in your job, you hate your job, and you don't want to do something like that, 5 or 10 extra hours a week, then find something you enjoy doing. And
Hmm.
even if you're not the expert in it, some of the best blogs that I've seen, some of the best YouTube channels or podcasts I've seen have been a personal journey by someone
Hmm.
learning about their passion. Some great examples are some of the earlier blogs that where it was basically maybe tech people that wanted to learn about personal finance. Just some of the examples in our community, the tech people that wanted to learn about personal finance, and basically started a blog to kind of document their journey learning.
Hmm.
And people love that because you bring them into your journey, you bring them into their story, into your story, and they can relate to that. So it's a great if you can combine that expertise and the
Hmm.
passion all at once, immediately. But don't let that hold you back.
Yeah, learning out loud. I think someone had coined the term. So I love this. I know people are thinking, I see this interest that I have. I have a talent. I want to share it. And I would love for it down the line to be a source of full time income. But, especially if you have kids and you have these bills and obligations, you're worried about taking too big of a leap. So, do you have any suggestions on pivoting to a new career? Like, what would you recommend, maybe step by step, for them to make this transition?
Sure, sure. Well,
Yeah.
a couple of ideas. One, like we've talked about, freelancing while you build up your own online assets, because one, that's not only going to teach you some of the roles and some of the responsibilities that you're going to need in your own online business, right?
Hmm.
You're going to be if you're freelancing like as a social media manager, that's going to be useful in blogging or in a YouTube channel or a lot of these other things. Uh, or if you're writing, that's going to be useful in other ways. So freelancing, but it's also
Hmm.
going to be that immediate pair, right? It's going to
Yeah.
motivate you to keep on going and to take that long path to build up your own online assets. So yeah, doing that balancing act between freelancing and building up your own job, or your own business first. Also, you want to diversify your income streams, and you'll
Hmm.
hear this a lot. And basically, it just means uh, getting as many income streams in your business as possible. So for example, and something that I kind of mentioned, alluded to earlier,
Hmm.
was that if you're a blogger, you're not just writing and blogging, right? And you're not just making money through the ads on your website. You're making money through self-publishing. So you're repurposing some of your content. You're making money through affiliates. So you're kind of linking to products and getting a commission
Hmm.
when someone buys those. You're getting sponsorships, and this is especially powerful on YouTube with videos, because a lot of advertisers are going that direction for their sponsorships.
Hmm.
But it can work in podcasts, obviously, and blogging as well. You're getting you're making money on maybe courses, so that's kind of just the next level from self-publishing. Basically, you're repurposing
Hmm.
your self-published books into a video course or something like that. So there's really the idea of creating as many income streams as possible from
Hmm.
each business idea. Okay, and why this is important is two reasons. One, a lot of these income streams really aren't usually enough in and of themselves to
Hmm.
uh, to to
Yeah.
be able to take you to that full time idea, right? You might, so I've got 12 books self published and make
Mhm.
just over maybe about $2,000 to maybe $3,000 a month on them, which is a nice little chunk of change. But it's not
Mhm.
something that I could live off of in itself.
Mhm.
But combining that self-publishing income with sponsorships, with affiliates, with all these other income sources,
Mhm.
then it is something that I can live on and have enough money to save. Also, though, is a lot of these income sources from online businesses are very volatile from month to month, right? So some months I might make $1,800 self-publishing, but other months it might be up to 2,500, 2,800. Uh, what happens when you diversify your income streams into these different sources is that
Mhm.
sure, some might be lower some one month while others are higher, but it just kind of smooths out your income, so you are making a more stable paycheck every single month. Uh,
Sure.
Last year, I would say just like I said, just treat it
Mhm.
like a business, right? You need to devote time consistently to your business, and whether that means 5 or 10 hours a week,
Mhm.
or maybe even more, maybe 15 hours a week if you can swing that. But devoting time consistently to it each week, maybe 1 day or 2 days a week, uh, making that commitment.
Mhm.
So while you are working, that's what you're doing. You're working.
Well, this was a lot of information, Joseph, but I know we only scratched the surface. And I know that because I've been following your channel and you have a ton of information about so many different things and different types of income streams and how to build it. So if anyone's watching this right now, they can go to Let's Talk Money. And is there any other way on social media they can reach out to you if they have any questions?
Sure. Well, I'd love to leave a couple of links in the show notes.
Perfect.
One is just kind of my journey in creating that YouTube channel and
Mhm.
how to make money on the YouTube channel. It's been an amazing experience, really, since just the last 2 years, not even 2 years. I've doubled my monthly income through that YouTube channel, through the different income sources. And you're going to find that on my workfromhomemoney.com. And that's my blog where I share
Okay.
all these different income sources and how to really create that online business. So I'd like to share that, and then
Mhm.
also on the YouTube channel specifically, there's a 5 video playlist of how to start a blog, how to grow it, and then some of the income sources I use with that. So two great resources to check out. And I actually, with that 5 video playlist on YouTube, I also offer a free downloadable checklist for that as well. Uh,
Perfect. Great. Well, I'll definitely include all of those links and information in the show notes, guys. He's the real deal. And you've just been so generous and kind with me. Like, I've picked up so many tips. I know it was so brief in Washington, D.C., but you've always been generous with helping out and with ideas. So thank you so much.
I love talking about this stuff. It's meant so much in my life. Really being able to transition into
Hmm.
into my own online businesses, and I love sharing it. Thank you.
You're welcome.